Hi everyone, my name is Fruzsina Varga and I have the honor and privilege to introduce you to Lou Corvona, the healthiest man in the world. And I'm so excited for his story to share and for who he is, and you're going to learn all about him and his company because it is an incredible story. So Lou, please share with us.
Well, I'd like to just start that August of 1951, when I was born. I was raised here in Orange County, and I lived a very conventional life. At 21 years of age was a really major breaking point for me, like a turning point. And by that time, I was in the Air Force and went through boot camp with flying colors. But afterwards, this is when I started having some digestive issues. And I got to a point where I got so backed up, I was going to the bathroom like once every 3 weeks. And when that happened, I became so toxic. And that's when I ended up with this, like acne all over my face, which is a form of infection, allergies, breaking out with hives. Then a tumor developed in the back of my head where I was facing surgery because of it. And then chronic asthma showed up after that, and I was taking a lot of medication for that just to breathe. And then arthritis set in. And I was 21, and I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, I didn't take drugs. I was a good person, worked hard, and I'm wondering, why am I suffering? After all those several months of suffering, asking all these different doctors what was causing my issues, they didn't know what was causing these things. And then one day I turned to God and I prayed, asking Him for guidance and direction, what to do. And I wanted to have understanding and guidance. And somehow I was led to walk away from the surgery and the medication, and I went through this near-death experience, and this is when I was given the guidance and the direction what to do. It was placed upon me. I took it on, and this is what I call the 4 principles to holistic health and wellness today. That's where it came from. And so from there, I started cleansing, healing, regenerating, and within 6 months, everything went away back then in 1973. And I got well, and I felt great, and I felt better than I ever felt. And I've been well for 42 years now. And so for me to be 5'9", 160, and 63 years of age and feel the way I feel, it's been nothing but amazing. And ever since then, I've been on a quest to make this knowledge available to the world. Because I know in my heart that if people really understood these 4 principles to holistic health and took it on for themselves, they could cleanse, heal, and regenerate too. And they could feel better than ever and never get sick and feel amazing. This is the way, in my humble opinion, that's the way it was intended for all of us, to be healthy, vibrant, long-living people. Right? Mm-hmm. So thankfully, not that long ago, I was blessed to be able to form a company and create it and put it together with a powerful team of people and be blessed with the resources to make it all happen. And they said, "What's the name of the company going to be?" And I said, "It's going to be, I don't know, but it's going to come from the vision and the purpose, what we have in mind." And they said, "What's the vision?" And I go, it's for us to create a paradigm shift in consciousness and how people live today through these 4 principles to holistic health. And then my nephew was there, Dave, and he goes, "Paradigm." And I go, "That's it." And then Paradigm was born. And then we got together and we made it happen, and it got started, and all of a sudden, here we are. So now we have the highest quality, the highest, broadest spectrum, the highest activity enzymes in the world right now. And also we have these powerful probiotics to reestablish the friendly bacteria in your system. These are important factors. I didn't even know what enzymes were back then. But when I learned the 4 principles, when I learned how to do raw living cultured foods, and when I learned the power of enzymes and enzyme therapy and all these different things to accelerate the cleansing healing process, everything changed. Everything changed. So sometimes people ask me the question, "Lou, where do you get this unusual strength? What's your secret?"
Right. What is your secret?
Right?
I want to know what's your secret because...
Well, let me show it to you first, and then I'll tell you.
Sounds good. Let's
Ready?
do it.
Okay. My record's 7 minutes. And the thing is, I haven't worked out. I haven't worked out for 44 years since high school.
Right.
Other than doing 20 minutes of stretching, deep breathing, and a little rebounding, things like that. I'll just do it real quick so you can see it.
Wow. Incredible. Man of Steel. Wow. I believe
Your turn.
Right. I have to tell you that I taught Pilates for years, and I still have a struggle with that. As a matter of fact, I can't even hold myself up without touching my toes down here and there. So,
If you're inspired enough and motivated enough, informed enough through this little conversation we're having right now to go to the next level and learn more about these 4 principles, how to implement them, your life will never be the same.
so what is the secret besides the 4 principles? What else is there to offer as a support system for everyone to know?
Well, many years ago, other than learning the 4 principles and applying them, there was a friend of mine that came down with cancer, and it was skin and bones. And within 6 months, he completely recovered, and his color came back, his weight came back. He's still here today, and many years later. Anyway, I learned that he had incorporated enzyme therapy. He worked with powerful medical grade plant enzymes, full spectrum highly active enzymes. He incorporated them as well as powerful probiotics, which are friendly bacteria. And within 6 months, recovered. And I was very inspired by that, impressed by that. So I studied it, I learned it, I experienced it for myself. I've been using them for many years myself. And I learned to realize through study, through research, that in North America, our soil is running anywhere between 30 to 80% plus enzyme and mineral deficiencies.
Wow.
Yeah, so I basically been incorporating enzymes and probiotics and cultured foods within my lifestyle for many years, and that's one of the secrets. But most people don't know that, so we made them available of the highest quality for the most affordable price ever in history. So that's one of the things we have. That's one of the secrets. The other secret is really being present to your breath, and really just learning and knowing how to think powerfully. And coming from a powerful perspective that everything that we go through in this life, it's really all for the good. It really is.
Wow, yes.
For us to learn from it and grow from that.
Absolutely.
So when we start mastering the 4 principles as a foundation and incorporating powerful enzymes and probiotics and a few other things, and have some good tools in your kitchen so you know how to do things in a certain way, it turns everything around.
Wow.
The 4 principles. The first one is called cellular communication. The second one is called cellular environment. And the third one is called cellular exercise. And the fourth one is called cellular nutrition, how you feed the body on a cellular level. So these principles, as you begin to understand them and how to apply them, the first principle is more about, how to understand. See, the reason we call it cellular to begin with is because every cell that makes up our body are responding one way or the other. You're either regenerating or degenerating. So if you know how to regenerate, how to maintain your cells to be healthy, vibrant, oscillating cells, then they're going to be healthy. They're going to be strong and vibrant, and your whole body, your whole being will be resonating at a high level, right? So knowing how to think powerfully and knowing how to be in a really powerful and emotional state and have a really healthy perspective on life changes everything. And when you have a way how to communicate with your body and how to listen to it and adopt whatever it needs, it makes all the difference in the world. And also, when you learn how to tap into the second principle, cellular environment, how to embrace the sun, how to breathe, and how to drink the good water, and how to ground yourself, it changes everything also, because the cells need that. And the same thing with cellular exercise. There's 2 forms of exercise, internal, external. The internal forms of exercise that oscillates every cell within your body, also stimulating the lymphatic system, which is part of the immune system. It pulls the toxins, the waste byproducts out of the body. You need to know how to do that.
Yes.
It's very, very key. And also, when it comes to feeding the body on a cellular level, that's why I switched over to raw living cultured foods, enzyme-rich foods. And that's why we came out with these powerful enzymes to help accelerate the cleansing healing process, but also to compensate for enzyme deficiencies in our food, because our food, organically grown in North America, is running at 30 to 80% enzyme mineral deficiencies.
Wow.
True story. So when you do your research and you really understand what's going on, yes, we need to think powerfully and love life and appreciate it, drink the good water. But if you're going to put fuel into the body, what's the number one thing that's most important? Most people eat food for why? Because they eat it for taste. They eat it to satisfy their hunger, right?
Yes.
But don't you think we got to go a little further than that?
We do.
What do you think?
Yes, we absolutely do. I believe that what we eat, we consume, we make energy, we convert it to energy, and if we choose to eat something that's probably cooked, it also you eat dead food, technically,
Right.
right?
So that's exactly. What's the objective when we eat food, other than satisfying the taste and the hunger? To break it down into micronutrients so they can be delivered into the cells and actually feed you on a cellular level. But in order for that to happen, that's why I want to show you the
The
demonstration.
enzymes, right?
It takes enzymes to digest and break down your food into micronutrients. You know, proteins into amino acids, fats
Exactly.
into fatty acids, carbohydrates into glucose, and so on. So these micronutrients that I'm talking about, we need to break down that food into micronutrients. See, every time we cook food or enzyme deficient food that comes from deficient soil, your body has to use more of its own enzymes to digest that food more than you remanufacture within the body. So when you learn how to eat raw living foods, enzyme-rich foods, it obviously takes it to another level. That's why I want you to see this demonstration. I want to show you so the whole world can see it once and for all.
Yes,
Very
let's see.
powerful.
What-
Hold that for a second.
What is this
Will you
exactly?
see how this is just
wow. I thought it's gonna jump up.
this is oatmeal cereal. It's just cooked oatmeal cereal.
Oatmeal.
People eat this for breakfast
Every
every
day.
morning. Yeah.
Yes.
Millions and millions of people eat this.
Oh
You
my
see how
goodness.
sticky it is right now? Because we cooked it a little bit ago and it just cooled down. It got real sticky.
This would be in your gut, basically, if you eat it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, if you eat cooked food, you eat this and take it into your system, you're going to have to use up your enzymes, and you're going to have to use more of your enzymes to digest cooked food, more than you remanufacture within the body.
I see.
This is what's going on. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So the faster you use up your enzyme potential and become deficient, the quicker you age.
Yes. Yes.
And then you start developing
Energy.
poor digestion, poor assimilation, poor metabolism, and poor elimination. That's why our country is constipated. That's why we have a multi-billion-dollar industry today called the laxative industry.
Right.
People are taking harsh laxatives just to stimulate the heck out of themselves, just to get them to go to the bathroom.
Right.
You see what I mean? So what I'm going to show you is a powerful solution that's very foundational, very, very simple, but powerful.
So what we're gonna do is, you said you're going to drop something in here.
I
and
want to
what-
do a demonstration. I'm just going to show you the power of enzymes and the concept of enzymes and how important it is to pre-digested food.
And these enzymes, just so I understand, these are the lysozymes, right?
Right.
Okay.
We carry them through paradigm.
Okay.
And lysozymes, life is spelled different. L-I-Y-F, it means life in your food.
Wow.
Lysozyme. So these are the ones you take right before you eat. Most generally is what people do with this. They take it right before they eat. And it doesn't mean you cannot take in between meals if you want, but this was created so people can learn to take and put life back into the food. Watch what happens.
Okay.
See, normally when people eat oatmeal cereal in something live, they take the grain itself. It's called sproutable whole oats, organic, of course, and they soak them in water for 20 hours and then drain the water and let them germinate a little bit, become enzyme activated. Then they blend it up into a cereal and go from there. But that's not this case. Most people do what? They cook their food.
They cook it. Yes.
So we're going to put life back into the food. Watch
All
this.
right.
So these are just powerful, medical-grade, plant-based, full-spectrum, highly active enzymes. They've got 16 different kinds of enzymes, no fillers, using whole food cofactors. So I'm very excited about these enzymes because watch what happens here. What it allows us to do is put the life back into the food. It's got 16 different kinds of enzymes to break down all food groups,
wow.
right? And it also is no fillers. And using whole food cofactors and getting the minerals from whole foods is a really powerful concept. And it's really the way to go. And also the activity. These are like 3 times stronger than anything I've ever seen in history. And what we did is we just put these highly concentrated enzymes back into the food. We put life back into the food, right? But these enzymes' purpose is to break down the proteins into amino acids. And amino acids is what builds muscle, hair, skin, and bones. Makes more enzymes and hormones in your body.
Makes your skin glow, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You see, here's another thing. When you have the ability to break down your proteins, carbs, and fats, break down fats into fatty acids, carbohydrates into glucose, now you can carry the minerals in. Now you can activate vitamins. Now your body can produce metabolic enzymes by the thousands. Metabolic enzymes is what allows you to think powerfully and remember and reason and dream.
Right.
It allows you to have wonderful feelings and emotions. It allows you to have muscle contraction, flexibility. It takes care of the wear and tear of your cells. It's the difference between why people are so radiant and healthy and vibrant
Right.
and alive, and then some people are
I
pale
can
and
see.
weak, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So if you're on a high, enzyme high, your life force is high like this, you feel great, and you
Yes.
never get sick. Because, see, a medical doctor scientist many years ago, his name is Dr. Edward Howell, he dropped 50 years of his life traveling all over the world, studying the longest living people in the world. And he discovered that enzymes was a missing link to why these people live in 120 years of life plus in different parts of the world, live out in the countries and, whatever. But here's the thing. They lived on fresh, live foods, enzyme-rich foods, cultured foods, easy digestible foods, plant-based, So he learned to see what they were doing to mimic that. So when he put all his patients on fresh, live foods, fresh juices, soaked germinated seeds, enzyme-rich foods, all the diseases went away in time, and they went back to their regular lifestyle and eating regular foods and whatever. The diseases came back. So then he realized that he needed to get and figure out a solution, and he came up with powerful enzymes from plants and gave it to his people to put life back in the food and to compensate. But then he learned how to do enzyme therapy as well. That's why we came up with something else called Pyrazyme. Pyrazyme is something you take between the meals, empty stomach, so you can take it like an hour or more before meals or 2 hours or more after meals. So you can take it like that, because then they work systemically. Then they go into the system and start working on digesting the undigested proteins, carbs, and fats that are trapped in people. Do you know why we have all these trapped undigested proteins, carbs, and fats in people? By the multitudes? Because when people eat cooked food, the body has used more of its own enzymes to digest that food more than you remanufacture, so you become enzyme depleted. Then when you become enzyme depleted and you don't have enough enzymes in your body any longer to continue to digest cooked proteins, carbs, and fats, they begin to go undigested. Then you start accumulating undigested proteins, carbs, and fats in your body, which turns into putrefaction, fermentation, and acidification, which attracts parasites, viruses, bacteria, and yeast. And these critters that I'm talking about live on that waste. And when they live on that waste, they proliferate and multiply in your body. They also go to the bathroom in your body. They excrete, and their excretions are very acidic and poisonous and smelly, and that's why we have infections and diseases and suffering.
Cancer, especially.
There's only one disease. That disease is called toxemia. Toxic thinking, toxic emotions, and toxic bodies with heavy metals, chemicals, parasites, virus, bacteria, and yeast. All this undigested proteins, carbs, and fats. So a powerful solution to begin with, Lysozymes with their meals and Pyrazyme between the meals to clean up the old stuff.
And the 4 principles, right?
The foundation is the 4 principles.
Yes.
Learn the 4 principles, absolutely. But as a tool, we can use Lysozyme with meals to help start doing what? Digest better and assimilate better. Put the enzymes back in the food that was cooked out of the food, or maybe because it's coming from deficient soil. Why do I take enzymes myself? I eat nothing cooked. For years and years, I've been eating all raw living enzyme-rich foods. But I take these, why? Because our food is enzyme deficient. Why the whole world doesn't know about enzymes at this point? Well, I've been on a quest for many years to deliver this message. And I could see that it was missing. This knowledge was missing to the multitudes of people. That's one of the reasons why I've been on a quest to one day form a company to make sure that everyone on the planet knows about the 4 principles and understands the power of enzymes and probiotics and how to culture foods and all that, so they can live a very powerful life. So now that we've created Paradigm, we've been here just for a very short time. It is just going to be spreading all over the world now. So this is now going to go all over because I'm behind it. And I'm going to make sure that every single person on this planet, as long as I'm here, to make sure everybody knows so they can have a great life. Yes. That's the thing. It's been missing. Somehow it just nobody ever took the initiative or whatever it took to get this message out there and make it available.
Yes. Let's get back into also the probiotics,
yes,
because it's very important to take probiotics as far as I know.
There's probiotics and there's probiotics. What we created was Life Biotic.
Life
and
Biotic.
it's got 5 bacterial strains. Live Biotic, again, L-I-Y-F, life in your food, right? So what we do is these 5 bacterial strains work synergistically. They're very powerful. They're highly proteolytic, and that means it breaks down proteins into amino acids. So what I like to do with them is I like to make yogurt with it. I'm talking about non-dairy yogurt. I make sprouted almond coconut yogurt, my favorite one. It's amazing.
Wonderful.
You know,
I
but
agree.
here's the thing. When I take them and soak them for 24 hours, I take about a cup and a half of those almonds with a cup and a half of coconut meat. I blend it together with a teaspoon of the Life Biotic.
Oh.
And I like to put Life Essentials with it too, though. But I blend it up into a cream. I let it sit for 6 hours. It turns into yogurt, almond coconut yogurt, and then I make smoothies and dressings and soups and ice cream and dips and parfaits, all kinds of stuff. It's amazing.
This sounds amazing.
And then you get all the protein, carbs, and fats you need to sustain you. If you want to tap into the enzymes from probiotics, you can just click below. But
Yes.
and also if you know how to implement and how to structure the 4 principles into your life, you can go to the future training modules that we
Exactly.
have, and then all the recipes beyond that.
Yes.
So you can learn all these things.
So to find out more about the 4 principles, about Lou's amazing products, about the recipes, countless recipes, just click below. That's all you have to do. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Lou.
You're welcome, and thank you. Love you. Take
Love
care.
you.